In this Keyclock tutorial, we'll look into how to set up the Keyclock with your own custom provider, and also how to set up the Railings clients users, and also how to do role-based authentication and authorization on Keyclock. So first, for this tutorial, I'm going to use a custom provider by Lasnico, which is Keyclock to SMS Authenticator. This is the link, and also be pasting this link in the description. Please go through it. So we are going to use this custom provider in our tutorial. So whenever you have any custom provider, we first need to generate the jar file of the custom provider which we are import, and we can place this custom provider in the providers folder. Similarly, how I place a jar file here. Once this provider is placed, we need to run the build command of the Keyclock by setting the enabled parameter as to so as to set this provider as enabled. So if you want to disable the provider, we can disable the provider by setting the enable property to false. Once you set the this, uh, I'm running it in the development mode. So in the development now, our Keyclock is listening on the 8080 port. Once we go here, whenever you set up your Keyclock, whenever you install your Keyclock for the first time, or when you click on that list, it will ask you to set up admin now user. So since I've already set up admin user, I'm going to log into it. So this is how the to a facet something. Basically, what it does is it sends how it's configured is like it basically sends OTP to the mobile number or email. So, but if we can consider email service to OTP service, you can send OTP to email as well. But for now, I just configured so that it can send the OTP or not. And I also changed the code of the task a little so that I can configure an attribute called mobile number and send the OTP to that attribute to that mobile number or whatever we set up. So basically how we set up is, let's say if you want to set up again one more, you can add a user, let's say Amazon number. So once we create that user, to send the OTP to create a mobile number, I'm sending the OTP to the mobile number used in this key in the attribute called mobile number. So this is where I'm going to send the later. I'm also going to use the admin access to this user. So now we set up a user and we set up the mobile number for that user so that we can send the OTP to this user. Now if you see we're receiving an OTP to our user which we are configured in the mobile number attribute. Similarly we can set up whatever name, we can set up an email there with mobile number there, we can set up anything there. I have configured it to the mobile number and we send the OTP this mobile. Now since our custom route is done, now we can create to expand let's create a new realm. So realm is basically nothing but a management entity which manages the users, roles, clients, etc. So once our realm is created, basically we need to create a client. Basically, client is like services or APIs which needs to use our realm to authenticate and authorize its users of this client. So we're going to create a client. Yes. To do client authentication, basically client authentication is to access the authentication authorization of the client. Similar standard flow is like the normal browser flow, and implicit flow is like if you want to handle the flow based on the user without an authorization etc. We can use the implicit flow. Similarly, both access is also being given. Now we can set up a root URL whom we will give access to this client for any other users or any other entities. Also, we can set up the validity such that once your user authenticates to this client, if you need the user to be redirected to some other site, we can set up the valid directory. Now we're not setting anything. So now we have set up a realm, then we have set up a client called test3. Now we are going to set up some users in this realm. So let's say we are going to create a prime user. So where we have create a prime user, we can also select what all record actions it doesn't need to make when he logs in. But we are not going to do anything for now. Now since it's that view, we're also going to set up some rules for this trip. So let's say what is a prime rule. So basically the rules and users you can now set up on the real level or also on the client rule. I am setting it up on the real level. Now we have rule and prime user. To set up our role and user, we need to associate this role to this user. So here we can go to the we can select the user and go to the role mapping and assign the role called prime. Now assign the role. Now we need to set up permissions for this client. So how we set up permissions for this client for this any client for any role-based permission is first we need to go to the authorization tab. Here we need to create a policies attached to the role for a role-based authorization. We have many policy types based on roles, times, users, rejects. We want to create a time policy and we are assigning to users policy. And this required field is like he is the primary required to access this policy. Yes, consider the logic is positive as negative. That means this rule is needed. If it's negative, that means this rule was not required. Click on save to save this policy. Now once we save this policy, go to the authorization tab. Now we need to create a permission. So basically we have one, if you see the resources, we have one default resource called default resource which says that only the users of this field can access this client. Similarly, we are going to set the permission based on the policy, but the permission will be based on resource. That means only the users of this client can access this permission. So let's say permission. And permission, we are going to set only for resource. The policy we are going to attach is the prime policy. And in our means all the policies should agree. Affirmative means at least one policy or should agree. Similarly, consent means major should agree. So now we have set this policy. And if you go here and if you see the policy, there is one permission assigned to the policy which is prime permission, and this prime policy is structured to the well, basically policy is the kind of bridge between rule and permission. If we can go to evaluate, in this evaluate, we can evaluate whether our permission is successful or not. So we need to select a user. So prime user, prime user, we can evaluate the permission. So click on evaluate and give the see the permission set up prime permission is um, is accessible to this user. So basically that means our user now has set up this permission. Now we can use the if you want you can use the APIs to access this prime permissions and you can also access how to see what all services are called whenever you click on the evaluate. So basically whenever you select a prime user, this evaluate function is being called. And we can set that C. Now for this user with this permission, the status is permit. So we can configure a number service such that such that so let's say you want to configure these permissions for based on user. So what can you do is whenever user logs in, you can get all the permissions of the user. Whenever you want any user to access any site and this permission is in, then you can check in the cache whether this permission is available or not. Only then you can permit him to access the API, else you can not authorized or something like that. And you can also put a cache invalidation mechanisms where whenever the permissions are changed for the user is restricted, so the cache can be invalidated. So this is how you can set up Railings, rules, clients, and also set up permissions based on role, and also how custom providers can be implemented. Thank you. Please share and subscribe for more such content.